If you want to take the shot, if you want to take the pill, and you don't want to do anything to prevent or bring lasting health and hope and wholeness to your body, then the wellness and prevention chiropractic model is not for you. I think it's crazy that you would think that, but there's another model for you. But we have to ask the question. The last thing is, I think narratives have shaped many's choices, unless you've done some digging. I was talking to a really great podcast that I think that everybody should go listen to. Joe Rogan interviewed Robert Kennedy Jr. And, I'm not going to go in super big depth, with, vaccines and different things like that. I'm going to touch base on some things as to, narratives and things like that. But, I just think that the reality is that even Joe Rogan admitted that, his narrative is that, hey, vaccines are safe. Medical doctors and science is really, really strong, and it's really good, and I'm going to trust them. I've even had him, bash chiropractic because, the narrative has also always been that, chiropractics are pseudoscience doctors and whatever. But when you watch this interview with Robert Kennedy Jr. and just some of the things that happened over the last 4 years and the lies and the deceit and now all the things that are coming back about how the science was flawed and things were just covered up, I think you're kind of seeing this change or this shift in culture, and Joe Rogan being one of those guys. It's a 3-hour podcast, but I think it'd be really, really eye-opening for some of you to listen to that podcast because it does bring to light some of the things behind the scenes that maybe you don't know. But even he said, the narrative has always been, this is what you do. You trust Doc. I grew up in a small town. Not very many people, and we had a primary care in our city, and it's like, hey, you go to Doc. Doc's the expert. He's got the white coat and stethoscope. He's got the MD behind his name, and so whatever he tells you to do, you just do it. We don't question anything. We don't say, well, wait a minute, what is that going to do inside my child's body? Like, if I take that, do I really need to kill that fever? It's a fever of 101. Like, isn't a fever a good thing? Like, the narrative has been, don't question doctors, don't ask questions. Like, hey, go in, you have the baby, you just do exactly what they say to do, the squirt in the eyes, the shot, this, like, you just don't ask questions because the narrative has been, they're the experts, don't ask questions. And I think that we have to change that narrative a little bit. Another narrative has been, chiropractic. I don't know why over the last, couple months I've had people say, well, how long does it take to go to school and chiropractic? And, I actually had a little girl in my office. I've been taking care of her for like 10 years, and now she wants to be a chiropractor.